Hello students, today's topic is computer networks. Part 1. Yes, there are 2 chapters of computer networks in your syllabus. So we are starting with computer networks part 1. Basically, before starting computer network, we should understand what is basically a network of any kind. Network is basically made up of two words, that is, one is net and the other one is works. So the works which are done within or among different sort of people, devices or anything which are interconnected. So when things are interconnected, they make one network. Okay, so here things can be replaced by human beings, devices, computers, etc. So if more people are interconnected together, it is called as a social network. Like you go on Facebook, you see people connecting to others and talking, sharing thoughts, photos and everything. So that type of site you already say as what? Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry to say, social network. Okay, so it's a type of social networking site. So social network is among people, it's not among the devices. But the same thing applied, if it is applied on the devices, on the computer or electronic gadgets, it is known as a computer network. Okay, so what is a computer network? Let us start the topic. What is a network? As you can see in the image, computer networks can be communication, information preservation, security, sharing hardware, sharing data, sharing information, sharing files. If any out of these things are in your mind, so you need a computer network. If you want to just connect two systems to send the messages in between, you need computer network. If you want to store or preserve your information for the further use, you can use computer network. If you need more security, then also you need a computer network. If you want to share the hardware, what is sharing the hardware? That means if there is a printer kept in one room of your house and you want to use the same printer from the other room, how would you use it? Because if you can create a network between these two computers where one is connected with printer and another one is not, even in the case the second system which is not directly connected to the printer is able to print any sort of thing via the printer kept in the room aside. Okay, then sharing data, as I already told you, that thing too is nowadays very common. Sharing data, you can share one file from one system to another or even one phone to another via Wi-Fi network. So Wi-Fi is also sort of network that you already know. So next is sharing information. I want to share something with you over chat or over voice recording or anything, that we can also do using a computer network. As we can share data, we can also share files. It's very much clear already with the people of this age today, as everybody is using mobiles and you are using some sort of apps like ShareIt or anything. So why do you use that? You use to share your MP3 file, a video file or any other file to the other person who is connected to your same Wi-Fi network. Same way you can share file, you can also share your files or apps over the network. So these are the basic things. Why do we need a network? So now, what is a general definition of a computer network? In general, a network is when two or more computers are connected to each other in a way that they can share resources like printers, scanners, projectors, CDs. CD means we are talking about CD drive. Where do you play the CD? Hard disk or anything. It is said that they are in a network. Is it okay? Now the thing is, how do you form a network? How different techniques are there where that using which you can connect one system to another. So there are different techniques like cables, using wires or cables, using telephone lines, that is also coming under the wired. Then we have wireless technology, using radio waves, using satellite, or using infrared. We will talk about them later in the chapter. Okay, so as you now know about what is a network, before proceeding further, we will understand what sort of benefits it provides to the user. The very first benefit is resource sharing. As you already know, everybody is not a billionaire or millionaire, so everybody cannot have different sort of device with everyone in their pocket or in their room. So there are some situations when you need to share your hardware device with the other person. Okay, so in that case we can directly connect the devices or the computers to the network, and they can easily share their resources are what? Anything, file, software, games, movies, printers, or any other hardware device. Everything comes under resources of you. If you want to share them with the other person, you can easily do it using a computer network. How does it help? It is very easy. Suppose your school is having one printer, and that one printer can be used to print the files, print any document from different classes. Yes, one printer can be easily connected to different classes. Every class, from any class, if some person or some student want to print anything, so they can easily click the print button, and you will see that far sitting printer is printing their document, because they all are interconnected in a network. So this is coming under resource sharing. That means there is only one printer, but is being shared by everyone in the school. Now, second one is effective communication. What is effective communication? As I want to say something to you, I want to send you some message. I am in one city and you are in another 100 km far away city. So if you don't have network or anything, how would you share your thoughts? How would you send a message to the other person? You would say, sir, I will make a phone call. So my dear students, phone call is done using mobile phone or landline phone, but in both cases you are definitely using a network, because telephone is also telephone network, and for mobile it is called cellular network. So they are also using network. If you don't want to use any network, in that case you have to manually write a letter to someone, then you have to post it in post office, and it will take many days to reach out to the destination, is it? So but if you are using network, it is very fast, it is very easy, it is very quick. Within seconds you can send a message to anyone nowadays, because we all are using network. Now third one is less expensive, because we are sharing our hardware or software resources. So every system has not to be interconnected with different printers, different scanners, or we can make a repository of software into one system only, one big system, and that can be shared using LAN or WAN or MAN to the other small systems as well. Nowadays you are using that technique, like if you want to save something, you can also use Google Drive nowadays. What is Google Drive? It is nothing, it's a data repository made available to you by the Google Inc., Google company. Now Google company is storing them somewhere physically. Yes, they are having their data centers spread around the world in different locations. So whenever you save anything to your Google Drive account, it basically saves there in the Google's data center. Is it okay? So this is how it is possible, just because of the network. Next is reliability. Nowadays you can't think of, like in previous days somebody sent a message or a letter to someone else. It may be misguided, or it may be missed, it may be lost, or it may be torn. Anything can be done in between the process. But when you send something via network, if a network is really connected, so 100% your data or your message will reach to the destination 100%. And the other things also, when we use the computer and networks, calculation and communication become much reliable. Communication is, again I'm saying the same thing, when you send or communicate to other person, sending or receiving messages, it becomes more reliable and trustworthy. Now the last one, which is central storage of data. As we already talked about, data is not stored in your, suppose you want if we created a central data repository, the best example is a bank. It is possible nowadays, if you have one bank account in your city and you go somewhere around the world and you need the money, so what do you need? Your ATM. You just swipe in the ATM into the ATM machine, and what happens? You can easily fetch out some money, whatever you want. How it is possible? How does suppose an American ATM consider your personal ATM card? How it is possible? How does it know that you are having that particular bank account and it can deduct the money from there? Just because, first of all, it is network. Second thing is, your bank is having a central server, central storage. Whatever your data, whenever you create a bank, you open a bank account, your data is sent over the centralized system of banking. So not even one bank, tens of many different dozen of banks are there, which are keeping their data into a centralized location. So it is easy for interbanking or interbanking are the different scenarios, you need not to go into. I will explain shortly. Interbanking means between two different banks. Intrabanking means within the same bank but from one branch to another. So okay, so this is how you can keep your centrally located data, and it is easily accessible from anywhere possible. Okay, now let us talk about some terminology, some jargon words that you only find when you use a network. The first word, first terminology that you will see, first norms that you will see in network is nodes, or sometimes also known as workstations. This term node refers to a computer that are attached to a network and are seeking to share resources. Basically, nodes are what? If I am creating a LAN, so there are, suppose, 10 systems, so all these 10 systems will become one node. But it is, if I don't go deeper into the network, you won't basically say them nodes, because a LAN is a kind of network where each and every system is equivalent, so they are not nodes. Nodes and workstation terminology is used when you are having a client server network. Okay, what is a client server network? In a client server network, there is a server or bigger system which has more power, more storage capacity, more memory, more. It's like having a huge memory, or has a huge repository system within it. So that type of system is made a server. And all small sort of system, small means it's not tiny in the term of size is the same, but the power and the performance is tiny basically. So these small systems or PCs which are connected to that server are known as nodes or workstation. Like if you connect to a website or to internet, so you will become one node or workstation, and internet becomes your, or the website that you are connected, or the server that you are connected with, that becomes your host or your server. So you will become for that period of time a workstation of that website. Okay. Now from there only the word comes server. That is our second terminology. Obviously, server is a computer which serves the services. It does not receive the services, it serves the services. It serves different sort of services like sharing of data, sharing of software, sharing of hardware resources onto the network. So it is having more power, acting as like a boss. Now the third thing that you need when you are using a computer, or when you see there is a network, you will see this thing definitely: network interface unit, sometimes known as NIC, NIU or NIC. NIU stands for network interface unit and NIC stands for network interface card. So that network interface cards itself works as network interface unit. What it does: any system, any computer, any device that wants to connect to a network must have one network interface unit within it. If it is not there, that device cannot be connected to a network, any sort of network, maybe Wi-Fi, LAN, MAN, WAN, or any sort of. Yes, and I must tell you that your mobiles are also capable of to connecting a network, because it has one inbuilt NIU inside. That's why you are able to connect to Wi-Fi or any other network. IP address. The first and foremost thing when any computer network is created, this term is to be taken into account. Every machine on a network has a unique identifying number called an IP address. It is like address of someone. If you are sending a letter mail to someone, you always write the address on the envelope so that it reaches to the actual destination. If you don't write the address, how would someone be able to know that where are you sending this letter? So it may get lost. So in the same way, when you connect to a network, every node, system, PC, whatever you call it, has its own unique address stored in the NIU. That's why we use NIU, because it is capable of storing the MAC address and IP address. We will talk about them in briefly in the further coming topics. So you need this thing, which is an essential part of any networking, that is IP address. Domain name. Domain name is like if you connect to a network, I mean to say internet, then you must have one domain name so that you can connect to a particular website. Like if you want to connect to google.com, obviously the domain name of google.com is if you want to connect to Google, then obviously the domain name is google.com, or in India google.co.in, www.google.co.in. So in www.google.co.in, this google.co.in is your domain name. Domain name is necessary that it will identify where you want to connect, which server you want to connect. So if you don't know that name, how would you connect it, is it? So this is required thing. And always a domain name is unique in internet. There cannot be two different websites that are sharing the same name. So every website's domain name must be different. Now URL and domain names, sometimes you can get confused with them, because domain name and website, when you once you just have a glance at them, you will find them looking same, but it is not. Domain name is only that server name where the website is getting hosted, so that you can reach there, that is your domain name. But URL is the address of a particular website's particular web page where you want to go. Like for example, if it is given here, say they are saying tech term website. So tech term websites domain name is http techterms.com, but if you go for the URL that will be http://techterms.com. Then inside one folder is definition, then inside that there is one file or anything that you will understand as URL. URL is the long address up till the particular file, page, web page, or anything that you want to access. So that long address is basically known as URL. But in short way, only the .com thing that is known as domain name, and the full thing is basically known as URL. There are different type of domain names available in the market nowadays. That some sites you will see are .com, some are .uk, .us, .in, .n, .gov. So there are different sort of domains available nowadays. Okay. So if you specify a URL, as I've told you that there are different sort of a long type of address which you can call as URL, that is known as Uniform Resource Locator. Okay, so here are some parts of it that you want to understand, or that you need to understand. First one is, what is this HTTP all about? It is nothing, it's a URL prefix which tells that which protocol is used. What is protocol? Okay, no issue, we will also understand the protocols and events HTTP in detail down below this chapter. Okay, then second part is techterms.com. that is basically the server or domain name that you want to connect with. Then the definition and URL, whatever, it is a path to the last file or directory that you want to access. Okay, now we have to understand structure of a network. Means when you connect to a network, the things that you require, that will be said ki this is a network. Okay, so what is the structure of network? When you first decide to have a network, you must have one person, that is, or one system, that is sender. What is sender? Obviously sender is a system or a device or computer that will send the information or data to someone else. On the contrary hand, there is receiver also. Who is receiver? A receiver is again a device or computer which receives the message, data, or information that is sent by sender. So if you don't have a sender, whom do you who will receive? The receiver will receive the data from whom? And if you are the receiver, if you are a sender, then if you will only send, if there is no receiver, then who will receive the data? So there both things are very much required, sender and receiver. Then sender is sending what? Obviously a message or information. So sender is, or receiver, sender is sending the message or information, and receiver is receiving that. So these three things are required. Then there is transmission medium. Sender is sending the message, but how it is sending? Over the air, over the wire, cable, or how? It's like how do you go from one city to another? By flying? No, you cannot. Data even can fly, but you cannot. But there are different transportation mediums available, like you will go via you will walk away, or you will go by your car, you will go by public transport, bus, train, metro, anything. So you will at least take one sort of transportation technique now. So the same way we need some sort of transmission medium. Over there we will put our data and it will reach to the destination. It's the physical path that is clearly seen in the term of cable or wires, and in wireless mode we can also send the data. We will also talk in detail downside. After completing the sender receiver message and transmission medium, we have a protocol. Protocols are nothing, they are the rules and regulations which are followed by sender and receiver both ends, so that data is kept secure and it reaches to the destination in the full form. Like 100% data is sent, so 100% data should be reaching to the destination. It's not possible that only 50% is reaching and the 50% is lost. Then there is no benefit of sending or receiving a message. So who governs that? It's the protocol which makes sure that yes, if 10 kilobits have been sent, 10 kilobits are being received by the receiver. Types of network. This particular thing we have been learning since our childhood in computer classes, but it's a very tiny little thing that you have been taught till now, but now you will explore it in the further explained way. So the first one type of network is PAN. Maybe you have heard, maybe you not, but PAN is a small, very the most small network that can be created is a PAN. Full form you know as personal area network. Basically, when you have a network where the devices are in the same proximity or in the same room or maybe in the same house, then you can use this sort of network called as personal area network. Its maximum distance you can see written as 10 meters. So within 10 meters boundary, if any device is there, you can connect them using a PAN type of network. Okay. Suppose I want to connect my mobile to my computer for sharing photos or something, then there are different ways. You can use either, first of all, you can use the USB cable. You connect your USB cable to your system and data is transferred. So what, it is a network, you are connecting two different devices. Yes, just only connecting your mobile to system, mobile to computer can create a network. It will be understood as a PAN. Or you can send using Wi-Fi also. Nowadays you can connect your laptop with your mobile using Wi-Fi communication. Or the third type, which is a little slower, known as Bluetooth. Even sometimes if you have a Bluetooth headphones and you are listening music to them, how it is possible that Bluetooth headset is a different device and your mobile is the different device? So there are two devices communicating. What they are making just a network. Which type of network? This is PAN. Then we have local area network. It is the most widely used type of network via a general user. You need not to be a rocket scientist to create a LAN. So it is very easy nowadays, and it is one of the most used network in the world. LAN. LAN stands for local area network. Obviously, local area, it's basically the surroundings of you, and a few meters or few feet from your end you can create, or very few devices you can connect them together using a LAN. For example, like if you want to connect a lab computers, there's a single boundary, or your residence, your home, your school, your lab, your university campus or office building, they are most of the times connected using LAN. Okay. It is also, the distance is not written, but I must tell you that distance for a LAN is around 100 meters. Okay, 100 meters distance can be easily covered with 100 to 200 meters. Sometimes can be connected using LAN. Okay. Then there is a little bigger network that is known as MAN. Basically, MAN is what? First of all, what does it stand for? It stands for metropolitan network, where metropolitan means city. The meaning of metropolitan is a city or a big city. So if there is a network which can connect the entire city, basically known as MAN. So if you talk about the city network, it is basically the combination or collection of different small LANs. If two or more LANs can communicate together, they can be said as creating a MAN. For example, if I must tell you, the cable television network that you are using, the DEN cable network in your city, it can be understood as very best example of MAN, because a cable network is spread around the whole city. So it is one of the best examples of MAN. Now the fourth and the largest type of network you can say is WAN, wide area network. Wide area is obviously the widest spreading area around you. So if it can be connected to a network, that network will be called as WAN. Okay. So basically it is used to connect the huge geographical area, different cities, different states, even different countries, or a whole globe can be connected using WAN. So WAN can be understood as a global network. Any country can be connected to the another one using this type of network. Now here you can see some pictures are given. What is WAN? WAN, you can see the different countries is pointed, different continents are pointed, and they are connected. The second one is MAN, where one type of building in a particular city is connected to another building in that same city. Then our LAN. What is LAN? Two buildings which are nearby or the same building with different offices can be connected using LAN. And what is PAN? In the same building, in the same flat or same room, if you are connected to different system, is PAN. So all four are given, and you can see here all four are connected. So you can say PAN is very small. Bigger than that is LAN. After that we have metropolitan, which is basically the cover up of different collection of different LANs, and if you interconnect different MANs together, it will create wide area network. Okay, now we will talk about what is internet. So in internet, if you see internet nowadays, internet is so much widely used that even a small kid can use internet very easily, because everybody is having access to it. In previous days it was not possible, it was a very small thing, but nowadays it's spread everywhere. Billions of users are using internet. What is internet is all about? Internet is made up of, again, two words, inter and net. What is inter and net? Inter means international, basically. Net is the network. So if there is a network which is internationally spread around whole globe, can be understood as internet. Okay, so it is one of the widest available network. There is no network is bigger than internet. Internet is one of the biggest network. Internet can be understood as the network of networks. Means millions of tiny networks which are connected together can become one internet. It is basically a latest technology of information spreading, information communication technology, or information broadcasting. Okay, how would you connect to an internet? Basically you need one modem. I will describe modem also in upcoming topics. You need one modem or telephone line or any ISP. ISP stands for internet service provider. So you need any internet service provider or any telephone company or anything or anyone, so you can connect to internet. Like if you are using your mobile, you must be connected using 4G, and there must be one 4G provider who is providing you the SIM. Maybe any company, I don't want to take the name, any name you can take. They are the companies where you will pay the bill, or you will recharge your mobile and you will get connected to internet easily. Okay, what do people do basically on internet? It's the best place for sharing your thoughts, for communication, for hardware sharing, software sharing. If you don't have any software, you can easily download from net. If you want to share your message to your friends, you can send one to many messages. You are just sending one message, within a few seconds it will reach to the hundreds of thousands of your friends or colleagues or anyone. Or news can be spread around the world within few seconds. Okay, so it's a very fast network and very vast network also. So the last point you can see is it is the world's biggest WAN. Obviously WAN is already the biggest network, and who is the biggest of the biggest? Internet. And if you want to take an example of WAN, what is an example of WAN? You can easily say yes, internet is the best example of WAN. Now there is one article also written as, what is an internet? Is a private network of computer which works on internet protocols for working. Any organization can use the internet. Yes, one of the most important thing is that internet is not governed by anyone. It is not the whole sole property of any particular states or any particular country's government. The different countries cannot claim that they own internet. No, it is not possible. It is the network of people. It is organized by the people, for the people, okay, to the people. But there are only different organizations or consortiums which are taking care of the internet, that it runs well, but they are all private organizations, and they just do their work in the for the public, for the general public. Like you will see one word comes to your mind is www. Whenever you use anything, you use any URL or a website in the computer, on the internet, you always type this word, na, www. What is this www? It is World Wide Web. Okay, so what is World Wide Web? It is a part of a consortium known as W3C. Okay, W3C means 3 times W and C. WWWC. It is known as World Wide Web Consortium. What is the use of it? It's an organization made by some private people just to take the responsibilities, maintain the rules, and see the disciplines of the internet. Now we talked about internet. Let us see something is written about intranet. You will see, sir, there is nothing, though there is no difference. No, this just there is no difference of A and E. There is a difference, very huge difference. Intranet is a private network, whereas internet is a public network. Internet is only used via a particular organization. Like suppose I am creating a company and I am using the internet. I am creating my intranet where only my company people are having their username and passwords and can use that particular space for them only. Nobody third person can enter that one. This is known as intranet. So in this chapter we had network, node, server, NIU. Now there are two different techniques of connecting to network, is known as circuit switching and packet switching. What these two techniques are? In circuit switching technique, it is a technique which is dedicated and complete physical connection is established between two nodes for communication, whereas in packet switching both are techniques for connecting to network. So what is in packet switching? This is a switching technique in which packets are routed between the nodes over the data links shared over other traffic. Okay, so you will see in description later on. We had local area, metropolitan, wide area internet. Now there is a name comes in mind. What is interspace? What is this interspace all about? Interspace is nothing, it's just a client server software or program that allows multiple users to communicate online with real-time audio, video and text chat in dynamic 3D environment. Okay, so it's kind of website. Okay, nowadays so we are having more than that, like we are having Google Meet, okay, Microsoft Team, or the Zoom app that somebody used. They are also kind of the same thing. The WhatsApp, they are all coming same sort of software. Channel is medium that we already talked about in brief, that which kind of channel that you are using to send or transmit the message from one point to another. Now there is one more name comes in mind, that is bandwidth. What is bandwidth? Bandwidth is related to the range of frequencies. How many frequencies have been used to send one message from one end to another. There are different techniques, different frequencies. Okay, that's all for today, students. Thank you for watching the video. We will discuss further in next video. Till then, keep learning and keep watching our channel. Please like and subscribe it as well. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.